Well, 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 if it isn't another sad reminder that you don't own anything in the modern age, and you just gotta put that in your pipe and smoke it with a smile on your face and say, "Thanks, Corpo, may I have some more?" I know.
Wait. Well, I mean, I do know, physical games are, kind of going out of like, the modern gaming age. Everything is becoming online. But what about like TV shows? Like, because I do know, because I know most thing is subscription based at this point. So like, I wonder what he's gonna talk about because like, I do know video games as a whole are starting to become like online based at this point, and so I do know that you don't really own those anymore. But I wonder what he's gonna talk about.
I just made a video on this topic a couple weeks ago after Ubisoft publicly came out and put their own dick in their mouth saying gamers need to come to terms without actually owning the games they pay for.
Yeah, and yeah, that's what I was talking about. I do think Ubisoft saying that we don't own our games anymore is kind of salty because I mean we are paying for the product, right? I do think like we should be getting the product that we paid for our lifetime. So we did pay for it. I mean, as a person who collects physical copies of games, I do think having physical copy of games is I guess more nostalgic, I guess. But I do see online games being cheaper, but also being sort of full price online as well. So that doesn't make any sense. But I digress.
Or something to that effect. Basically, just saying when you purchase a digital game, you don't really own it. We all know that. It's not some like tight lipped secret. When you purchase a digital copy of something, you don't really own anything. You're just
Yeah, that's where I buy all my games. Unfortunately, I don't like buying mine online. I prefer my buying physical copies. That way, I know I have it for as long as I have it until I sell it.
granted permission to access it because you paid the admission fee. But it can be taken away from you at any time for any reason. If your account gets banned, or if the service shuts down, or if the license deal expires, it can leave and you just lose access to it. Even though you paid for it, you don't really own anything besides just like their word that you can use it. And that can be taken away at any time. And today we just saw a really massive case of a ton of people losing things they paid a ton of money for because of the closure of a service known as Funimation. This is probably something that's near and dear to the hearts of many of you watching. Funimation has been a staple in anime for quite some time.
I mean, I haven't really subscribed to permission, right? But I do know that there's kind of folks behind like publishing. Let's see, what was it? I think it was too. Pull it up real quick. Let's see what was it all about. Let's see. So I think yeah, no, they was one that also published Dragon Ball Z, I believe. But I could be wrong. But I'm pretty sure Dragon Ball Z was they published that online or aired it. I mean on television. But I could be wrong. But I'm pretty sure there was one of the people behind that. Though I don't know how big Funimation really is. Though I do know they merged with Crunchyroll, I think. But again, I'm not really sure about that.
And in 2021, Funimation and Crunchyroll performed a fusion dance. They merged together, and then today it was announced that Funimation is officially shutting down. They're
Oh man, that is really sad. I love Funimation. I really do.
closing the doors and they're letting it sail off into the sunset. Except the name of the boat that it's sailing off in is the Titanic, and it's currently hitting the fucking iceberg and causing a massive problem. Because with
Yeah,
Funimation closing,
I would agree actually. I would agree.
Crunchyroll has announced that a lot of the digital goods that many users purchased over the years, such as like Blu-ray, special features, and a myriad of other things, will no longer be accessible because Crunchyroll does not support it. So things people have paid a lot of money for are just gone once.
And I do believe this will apply to gacha games because I do believe at some point they just will shut down. Let's see. Let's see. Can gacha? Okay, gacha games. The gacha games end. Okay, so it says here developers pay a steep price to keep gacha game servers running 24/7, especially as the game grows in player numbers, and sometimes the income can't justify the cost. Just like all good things, gacha games too must come to an end someday, but at least they gave the gaming community a good time while they lasted. Now, I don't know how long a Genshin will last, or any other gacha servers that's out there now that's currently running. But if they make enough money, they probably keep the servers running up 24/7 But like I said, eventually they probably will shut down, which means if you are a whale, I'm really sorry. But all your $20,000, $40,000 is pretty much gone at this point. Because you can't get that back, unfortunately.
This shuts down on April 2nd. So you're just going to lose access to it forever because you never owned it in the first place. You'll own nothing and be happy. That's the way things are trending, and between that and AI girlfriends popping off, the future's looking weird. And just when you thought it couldn't get worse for this announcement here, just when you thought it might be safe to sleep on your stomach tonight, Crunchyroll swoops in and violates your butt while you slumber by announcing that it's going to be increasing its subscription price substantially.
Wait. So, $55 to $100 a year for watching it? Oh my goodness, that's a lot. That's a lot of money. That's a lot of money. That's a lot of money. I understand, they are the biggest, one of the biggest things up there for, like, anime websites, but dang, $100 a year? I don't think you justify that, because, like, I mean, yeah, they have a huge library of animes, right? But dang, that's a lot of money just for a subscription, right?
To $100 per year starting on January 28th of 2025. So now you're going to be paying more for the pleasure of losing things you had previously paid for. That's nefarious. That's downright diabolical.
It is.
This practice is becoming more common than the cold, with companies taking away access to things that you had paid for, because when it comes to digital goods like this, you don't really own shit. And these companies have proven that they are not shy about taking it away. So naturally, that leaves people with three options. The first one, which I think is the worst one, be a mindless consumer who just buy product, get excited for new product, and that's it. You don't care. Yes, you pay.
I do put more thought in my products that I do buy. Especially subscriptions. I do think, if you're buying subscriptions, it should be prioritized which one will give you the better deal over the other. Because, I mean, honestly, if you're paying, let's say, for Netflix, you're getting a lot of mess. I think they're always shifting rotation for stuff they have putting in and out. And this selection ain't that great, at least to me, honestly. But, I mean, I use Amazon Prime, which, I mean, it's also, nifty. But I do prefer Amazon Prime over my other subscriptions. But I digress.
Paid for all of these digital items, but you knew what you were getting into, so they took it away. Wah, call the wambulance, get a side of French fries, rub some dirt in it and be done with it. You don't care that much, and you'll continue to just accept the shit they feed you. That is very much an option, and you'll keep subscribing to every streaming service under the sun that keeps popping up like a fucking hydra, because there's a million of them now. The second option, you start buying physical media. Because if you actually own something tangible, the only way they take it back is if they physically take it from you.
Most likely they won't do that. I do think that if you buy a physical copy of something, they most likely won't take it back. Unless you own a car and there's a recall, then you kind of got to. But other than that, I do think you're pretty much good to go when you buy a physical copy of something. This is how it really is. Because no one's really going to take that from you.
Like taking a toy from a toddler. So even though Funimation shuts down here, if you bought the physical Blu-ray for Attack on Titan or something, instead of buying the special features and everything through Funimation, you would still have it here and could still enjoy it because you legitimately own something. And then the third option, which I think is going to become the most popular option, if it's not already. Piracy. You set out on the seas yourself, the 7 seas, and you say, well, enough of this swashbuckler.
I myself don't pirate, but I've heard many people who say that it saves a lot of money when you pirate. I personally, I'm advocate for it, but I do know it's becoming more mainstream for people who can't afford it. Because honestly, again, when you buy something online, you're not really owning it; you're just using it. Like he said, because again, we're not paying for physical copies anymore. We're really not. People are just going to buy online because it's more convenient for them. But I digress.
It's time to show these scallywags what it's really about. And you start pirating all of your content. And there's a lot of benefits to that. 1, it's free. 2, it's more convenient now than actually subscribing to the streaming services because everything is so splintered and shot off into all kinds of different places. I talked about this in the last video I made, but best example is the one Donkey gave about trying to watch all of Pokemon. If you try and watch the entire Pokemon series, you have to go through like 15 different streaming services to get every season because...
Wait, really? But doesn't Netflix have like all of it in one go? Does it not? I'm pretty sure Netflix has all of it, right?
Netflix has like 1 through 5, then fucking Booble.org or something has season 6, and then
What's Booble? Never heard of that.
Roku's got season 7. Then you got to go back to Netflix for season 8, and it's just like this giant scavenger hunt. It's really inconvenient, and it's very
I mean, it's very inconvenient. I mean, like I said, if you buy a subscription, you should have at least most of the product there. I don't understand why they don't have all that product. It doesn't make any sense.
expensive. It would be cheaper if you bought the physical media in that case, and it's also even cheaper if you just pirated it, which a lot of people are choosing to do. Not something I'm advocating for, I'm just talking about the reality of the situation that we're in now, where it's extremely convoluted and difficult, just a massive fucking headache to legitimately try and buy like the things you want now when it comes to streaming, because licensing agreements expire and things go different places. So you have to keep like following it around if you want access to it still, and it's a nuisance. It's significantly more convenient just to pirate it now for most people. In the words of Gabe Newell, piracy is a customer service issue or something to that effect. That's his.
I mean, pirating is probably a lot more convenient for people, but you're still paying for the, I mean, see, the thing is, if you're paying for physical copies, you're paying a lot of money for that, right? But see, the thing is, you can't pirate gacha games. Gacha games are an online-based service, right? And like I said, once those servers are shut down, there's no way to get that back, and you can't really pirate those type of games. And so I do think it's unfortunate for those kind of people, but I digress.
Quote, and he's right. There, right now, the offer is bad. You get an incomplete product sometimes when episodes are taken off, like in SpongeBob's case, where 2 episodes were censored, so you don't even get the full product that you want.
Wait, these SpongeBob episodes? I never knew that. The more you know, I guess.
And in this case that we're seeing now, you can just lose access to it at any time because you don't fucking own it. You don't actually own anything at all. So when the service closes, in this case Funimation, it's just wiped. It is scrubbed from existence, and the things you paid for cease to exist because they weren't really yours in the first place. Except for some of the things they mention that will transfer over to Crunchyroll, but it's not everything. And there's a big chunk of people that purchased a lot more that will no longer make it over. And
That honestly is a disappointment. It really is.
I just think that's unacceptable. If you buy something, it should be yours.
Yeah.
And again, I'm not trying to sit here and promote piracy by any means. I'm just laying out the brass tacks here. If you can't handle the truth, stay out of the kitchen. Or that's definitely not how the expression goes, but you know what I'm fucking saying. If the heat's too much, get the pot off the stove. The point is, when you pirate something, even though it's digital, you own it. You have the files. They're on your system now. You get those, fucking cherished files. You have it. And even when Funimation closes, if you had pirated the Attack on Titan Blu-ray, you have the files. You don't lose them when this shuts down. So you're just literally, it's like actually safer if you pirate it because you don't have the risk of losing it unless for some
Yeah, but I think if you get cash pirating, that's what, like a huge fine, like $250,000, right?
reason Crunchyroll hacks your shit and takes it back from you, which I don't see happening anytime soon. And then another thing is you get the complete product. So in the case of SpongeBob, you can get all of SpongeBob, including the censored episodes. And when it comes to convenience, piracy catches the W there too, because you can get all of like Pokemon 1 through fucking 50, however many seasons there are, conveniently in one place, and you don't have to just keep bouncing
How many seasons of Pokemon are there? I honestly lost count after like the third region, honestly.
all over the internet to try and find where this next season's located. So it's just much more convenient. Every decision that the industry is making right now in this gold rush for streaming services is pushing more and more people towards piracy. They are actively pushing people away because they're making it significantly more difficult and significantly scummier and significantly more expensive. What a recipe for disaster. So more people are going to continue to lean into just pirating the content, especially when it comes to anime. Jiminy Christmas, Crunchyroll started as a platform where you could watch pirated anime.
Wait, really? I didn't know that.
It was literally a piracy site that got so popular that it was able to become legit. And now, I think with this move, not only is it more expensive with the subscription price increase, but so many customers just got fucked who were with Funimation that I think a lot more people are just going to say, to hell with it, I'll just start pirating again. Now, of course, not everyone, like I'm sure there's going to be like a spike in Crunchyroll subscriptions, but I really think over time it's going to prove to be detrimental. it's again, it's just one of those things where more and more people are going to start to wake up to the fact that they don't really own anything, and I think most sensible people will be rightfully upset about that and a bit concerned about the future of not owning anything. That I think they'll start turning to either physical media or even more piracy being even more popular.
Exactly. That's what I've been saying. But like he's talking about, like, I do think we should buy more physical media because that way it keeps sales up for that, and it keeps it viable for a bit longer. So the more we buy physical copies, the more lasting in the market it will be. But like I've said previously, for like games, Gacha games, for example, which is what I'm making my content about, we can't pirate that stuff, unfortunately, because it's online based. So unfortunately, we are doing that aspect. Eventually, they will end, and our money is wasted. So, but again, also, anybody who made it this far in the video, please subscribe, like, comment. It does help out. Show me like the content, and I'll make more of it. But again, chill.